If I could get Mike Maines and Chris Staudt to come up now. So one of the things we did a few weeks ago was we had a nomination period for men to serve on the MRC board. And Pastor John, Pastor Dick, Sean Cook and I went through that list of nominees, and we considered the requirements for church leadership that are in the Bible, primarily, and then other considerations. And so far we have two willing candidates, Mike Maines and Chris Staudt. So we just wanted to introduce these men to you, give them a chance to tell you a little bit about themselves, and then in 2 weeks from now, on January 28th, we're going to have our annual church meeting where we will actually vote to confirm whether these two men will take on the leadership role. So, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit?
A little bit about me. I was raised as a Catholic, confirmed at 12, but soon after that I kind of went my own way. And at 26, somebody explained the gospel to me in a way that I didn't understand it before, and I gave my life to the Lord. I married Anne in 1981. Most of you know her. We have two sons, both of whom live in the area. They have 3 kids each. They both kind of followed in my musical footsteps and have played on worship teams and in bands. And they're both attending church. And that's my family. We've been coming to Mountain Ridge, if you count CCF, since we moved to Warrenton in 2003. We went away for a couple of years, but then we came back when Jerry Beal was pastor, and we've been here since then. And why do I want to be on the board? Well, A, there's a need, and B, I probably have administrative gifts that could come in handy, communication and organization and stuff like that. So that's me.
And he makes great videos. So Mike, why don't you do a little introduction? Sure.
Good morning, church family. Mike Maines. My wife Jen is home with our youngest. He's sick today, but Emma, our daughter's with us. We've been attending this church for almost 3 years now. We've been involved in churches our entire lives. But after COVID, the church we were involved with closed the doors, so we went on the hunt. So this is the first church we visited, and we didn't visit any others. We stayed. we came through the door, and we've been a part of the church family here for just about 3 years now, coming this spring. My walk with the Lord began at a very young age. I was blessed immensely to be born into a Christian family. I was surrounded by the Word from probably in the womb, honestly. So I, at the age of 4, accepted Christ. Now, I didn't understand all of the things, but what I did know is I was a sinner in need of a Savior, and accepted the Lord at that time. At the age of 12, I was in a church revival on a Wednesday night. There was a man, a missionary, that was his message. I don't remember who he was. I don't really remember much about him other than his message was, you need to give your entire life to Christ, every aspect. And I realized in that moment that I hadn't done that. I had accepted the gift of salvation, but I hadn't really fully given myself. So I did at that time. But there was always sort of a so you have to understand a thing about me. I'm the grandson of a pastor, the son of a pastor. And being in that ministry, I realized, even at like 10 years old, how lonely and hard that life can be. And I didn't want to be a pastor. So I told God, please, I don't want to be a pastor and I don't want to be a missionary, but I'll do anything you ask. But please don't make it that. So as life went on, I realized that wasn't what God called me to do. What I realized is I had been called to be a layman. I had been called to be a believer who supported the church, supported the pastor, and the church's mission to equip the saints and the Great Commission. So that's why I'm standing in front of you. I don't necessarily feel equipped to do this job, but I'm going to be obedient because I'm being called to do so.
Mike, Chris, thank you. Again, the whole point of this is to introduce you to the men that are getting ready to take on a leadership role here at the church. So we have 2 weeks between now and when we'll actually vote on whether or not they're going to assume that role. We encourage you to talk with them, get to know them, ask them any questions that are on your heart so you feel comfortable with them leading our church. So with that, guys, thank you.